Welcome. My name is Penelope Chatterton. Welcome to Awaken the Dream. My friends, I don't want to say an old friend because it would sound like she's old and she's not, but it's a friend I have known for, what, shall we say, maybe 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, I think 20.
Her name is Fran Spayne. She did some shows with me at the other studio, and we had to tell her how to get here today, and it's really fun to see her because she hasn't changed. I could be jealous. Welcome, Fran.
Good morning.
Fran, when you were on before, you're a psychotherapist. I remember you doing all kinds of work for government, social work. Before we get into really how you do things, I want my friends to know where you came from, you know, that old background, how was it transformed? Because you're a new age woman, you're a holistic healer, and you weren't born that way. It happened with the work that you did. So how did that spin itself out, if you could help us with that?
Well, in the very beginning, I guess things started for me when I took a class called Civil Mind Control. Did you ever hear?
Yes, sure.
It was a class on power of positive thinking and meditation and visualization, and it was.
It's a pioneer. Wasn't that program
it
quite?
Was fabulous. It evolved to Silver Mind Concepts, and it's still around, but not as much as it was before. But it was just kind of the launching pad for me to realize that I had some ability that I hadn't realized before. I think I had glimpses of it when I was a kid, but there was no support for it. And then this just kind of reawakened that in me. And I did some spiritual healing after that, hands-on healing.
You did?
Yeah, and it really helped me to understand just how powerful that was for me. And when I laid my hands on people, what happened was when they would have these energy blocks in their body from emotional trauma or emotional issues that they were holding on to, when they let go, when my hands were on them, I would actually see an image of the event that happened.
You did?
Yeah, when it got released. And I would say, you know, when you were 5 and when you were 3, like, did this happen? And I would describe the whole scenario, and they would be right on. I could just see it like it was happening in a movie screen right in front of me. And when I decided that after doing that for a couple of years, that I felt like I really wanted to get a degree in counseling to be able to support people more in helping them to talk through what I was seeing and what they were releasing. I'm not sure that was like something that really helped me in the long run, other than it gave me credibility and in the community to be able to say, you know, now I'm a psychotherapist, but I still combine the two, the spirituality and the psychotherapy, which I think is a really powerful tool.
Well, if you want to heal, I don't see how you can do one without the other. From my own experience, I just feel it's so invaluable.
So what was that for you like?
Well, I've done therapy. I was widowed young and I needed some help, and I sort of started here, went around the block, and came back to the same place.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I beat my pillows, I did all the things, I wept, I did all of those things, but we didn't go deep enough. We didn't connect. We didn't get into the healing part.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. So at the same time, when I went back to school to get my master's degree in counseling and psychology. I also was studying A Course in Miracles, which was so beneficial for me. And I realized that when I was studying both at the same time, the benefits of it, and combined with my old training of connecting to the higher power within, that when I sat with people as a therapist, I was able to connect to that higher power. So it was beyond. When I sit with people, I don't use that training of analyzing people. I don't take a history. I don't take notes. I don't go back to their childhood, because what I realize is when we're talking about something that's bothering them now, that is their childhood. And whatever they bring in the moment, the present moment, right here, right now, is the old stuff. It's the issue. It is the issue. So I don't have to use my little pea brain to go back and analyze what might have happened. And
can see the therapist now taking notes.
The notes, and you're trying to remember who they were last time when you saw them. And I think it's cumbersome and it's limiting. You know, it might work for some great therapists. I'm not saying that there are great therapists out there that some of this works for them. It just didn't happen to work for me. And because I'm intuitive, I can sit with someone if they're willing and open, and when we're having a conversation, I can actually now do the same thing I did when I put my hands on them. I can see the connection to back when I'd say, oh, well, what happened when you were 3 or 5 or 7 or whatever it is, and the dialogue begins there, and it's inevitable that they give me and they tell me the story, but I have this, I can read the vibration through the conversation from the issue that they have and the age in which it started, and sometimes it starts in the womb. I can read right back and say, you know, before you were born, like what was happening, or at the time of your birth, you know, like, and I can give them sometimes a little bit of the story and help them begin. Was this happening in your family? Yeah. For an example, people who have limiting beliefs about what they deserve in the world. You know, sometimes before we're born, you know, our families there's not enough room for us, there's not enough food for us, you know, our parents are stressed out because they're not sure how they're going to take care of us, and so we feel that, and there's scientific evidence now to prove that back into in utero, we feel those vibrations.
Interesting.
And there's memories, we have memories, even though it's pre-verbal, we still have memories of those times.
That's phenomenal. And you, your website is miracleworks.org.
Yes.
And as long as
it's Miracle Work.
Oh, just no S.
No
miraclework.org.
Yep.
As long as I've known you, you've been doing workshops.
Yes.
And you can go to organizations, or you can create them where you are. Can you tell our friends a little bit about how that works? I mean, or the themes, or?
Yeah, you know, since I took civil mind control 25, 30 years ago, I've been teaching the power of the mind. Anybody that I can will get an audience in front of me. Like, I really want people to understand just how powerful their thinking is.
You can't be held back.
I can't, because I just feel like it's I wish every kid was, when they were in kindergarten, knew the power that they had with their thinking.
Yeah.
I just feel like we do our selves and our children and our society a disservice, and I think that, you know, our country's showing that. You know, there's so much greed now, and there's so much people on government assistance because they don't believe that they have the power to manifest what it is they deserve in their life.
That is true.
And so I'm hoping to teach even more people. So I've taught the power of the mind in public school systems.
Have you?
Yeah.
Great.
I had a couple of school systems last year that I got some grant funding to do. And I've been in the medical community teaching the power of the mind and the mind-body connection because I really know in my heart of hearts that even our mind can help affect our health.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that every illness we can cure and fix. I'm not saying that, but there's so much more that we can do.
You can lift your chemistry.
Exactly.
Really can lift it.
It's so, and there's so much that we can heal. There's so much, like, we can change our blood pressure. We can change so much. And so the last few years I've been teaching medical staff. I taught the nursing staff at Emerson Hospital. They got CEUs for it. And this year I've been asked to teach on the Massachusetts Pain Initiative. I'm going to speak to the doctors and nurses there about the power of the mind and how it can help with pain control. So
well, that would require some education, because this world doesn't talk much about what you're talking about.
Exactly.
We are told about suffering and pain and what pills to take, and the family has it, so you're next, and you know, we can get some pretty grim prognosis for when we go to the medical field. But it is changing. I know it's changing, because they have to open up, because
there's a lot of people like you and I who would rather not to take medication and head in that direction, and we look for anything and everything that we can do rather than take medication. There's a whole other segment of the population that has glorified the medical profession and has made them the most powerful person in their life as far as their medical issues go. And I just would love to see the medical profession. My doctor does this. He helps. He empowers me. He'll say to me, "I know that you don't want to take medication." He's a great MD. He's and he will say to me, I want you to to investigate. I want you to learn. So we work together.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see more physicians work with their patients and help them to know that they have power. The
It's going to have to come.
Yeah.
It's going to have to come because the information will get out, and it takes time.
It's out.
But it's growing.
It's growing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, it's growing.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to do, is to help facilitate that growth of knowledge, that we do have this. When my sons were young, I sent both of them through Silver Mind Control twice.
You did?
I did, and it was so beneficial. And I remember my youngest one, when he had some kind of a virus or a flu or something, he had a very bad headache. So I offered him aspirin or something, and he said, "Oh no." Now, he was probably like 7 or 8. He said to me, "Oh no." He says, "I got my little army guy," and he said, "and I'm seeing him shooting aspirin into the veins in my."
How cute.
But that was his little imagination, and he felt like he had the power to take away his own headache, and he did.
Yeah.
And he did. And I wish that more of us had that. It is that inner knowing that we can change things.
Yeah.
And he's the one that I never said, like, you have this little guy running around your head and he can take away your headache. But he just felt like he knew he had the power to do that.
Yeah. Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
You must have been proud.
It was really a nice moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You told him that you remembered that? Have you shared that?
I'm actually, I'm going to see him this weekend, and I because I'm teaching at this conference, that's one of the stories I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to bring that up, and so I really am going to get his permission and talk to him about it this weekend. So,
well, this is interesting, Fran, because you love the Course in Miracles like I do, and I'm very into Joel Goldsmith myself. I've really just found something that it's so pure and it's so simple. And that can be, I would think you'd have to sugarcoat it a little bit to get into what we really know is the truth about who we are. I mean, you would want to sound rational.
Yep.
You don't want to just sound like, hey, just shift. And then that's all you have to do. You have to sort of explain things. You have to bring them, educate them to the truth about who they really are.
Well, it's interesting because so many people have done A Course in Miracles or something similar.
Yeah.
So when people call me, I don't sugarcoat it. When people call me for coaching sessions, I don't sugarcoat it. I tell them, I don't take history, I don't take notes. I meet you right where you are in the moment.
Yeah.
When you come today, and we have a session, when you come next time, whether it's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, I probably won't remember what we talked about because it's not of my mind. I'm not analyzing them. I'm not using my brain. I'm using my whole being, and I always pray during the session. I always ask the Holy Spirit to guide me, to lead me, to give me the answers, again, so I don't have to use my pea brain and limiting thoughts about what could be happening here.
You've got that trust.
I do have that trust, and I feel I connect with them on that level. And the shift that's when the shift really happens. So sometimes people have to go off and do some things, like some behavior, like corrective behavior, to change some old limiting beliefs that they have. But that's okay. Set some little short-term goals for themselves, and
you help them with positive thinking, positive thoughts, affirmations.
Yeah, I love people to come to my workshops because it saves them time and money. If they can come to my workshop and sit for 2 hours and know everything that I can possibly tell them in 2 hours, then it would help because they have a great foundation for where we can begin. And I'll go anywhere to teach the workshop. I just feel like it's so important. And I believe so much that when we know how powerful we really are, we can change our life, that we become empowered to have the life that we really want to live. Then there'd be less greed in the world. There'd be less fighting. There'd be less wars. I believe this is the answer to one of the answers to bringing more peace to the world. So every penny that I make from teaching workshops, I donate to other peace organizations.
I know you do. I
really
love that.
I really want to connect to other organizations who do that. I just think it's like we need to help each other.
It's been such a shift on people volunteering and giving and charities, and you know, what you give part of what you have away. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really quite wonderful.
Oh, I give it all from the workshops. Every penny.
Every penny of it.
Every penny I make from the workshops.
Love it.
Yeah.
Good for you, Fran.
Yeah. And I also volunteer in the men's prison.
Yeah, tell us about that.
And I love doing that. You know, I teach this class called Job Search Skills, but it's really less about that and really about helping to empower them to understand that they have something of value to offer the world.
Yeah.
And most inmates don't believe that. And I have to say,
I'll bet.
to my amazement and surprise, there are a lot of great men in prison. I thought, like, I won't watch those TV shows like, you know, about the prisons breakout or whatever they are, just because I don't like.
But what do they call that program? Raw something or no? Well, whatever.
I don't watch it anyway.
No.
But I just know that, you know, I've seen like commercials or glimpses, like, and I just like, yeah. But it's not been my experience. It's not been my experience in working with these men. I've met a lot of great men who've just made a mistake or been in the wrong, done something stupid.
Yeah.
And first of all, they have to forgive themselves.
Yeah.
And second of all, have to know that they have something to offer the world. And most of them don't think they have anything to offer.
Oh.
And so this was spirit-led. This is just like everything else that I do, whether it's coming here today or offering a workshop or whatever I do, I always pray.
Yeah.
And the Spirit led me to teach this class at the prison.
Yeah.
And I start out by showing them these two. It's an amethyst. It's the crusty side of the amethyst in a piece of watermelon tourmaline. It looks like a piece of coal.
Huh.
And I put it in a shoebox stuffed with tissue, and I show them, like, you know, what do you think this is, and what's the street value? What do you think you can get from it? And of course nothing, because it looks like, you know, just rocks. And then I talk to them and I say, you know, when you're in prison, you get this tough exterior, you get this, like, you know, protective self, and you don't want to show who you are, and then on top of that, you don't feel like you have anything of value to offer the world, and then you sit in front of an employer who wants to know, well, what can you offer me, and you don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
You just want them to hire you.
Yeah.
So I show them, I flip it over and I show them what's inside the amethyst and the sparkle and the beautiful, and I have a little slice of watermelon tourmaline and I show them what's in there and the gorgeous colors, and I say, that's you.
Do you ask them what they love to do? What did they always love to do? Because usually the energy of a talent that they may have, that they just are dying to do it, but they may be holding themselves back.
That's part of it. But part of it is like some of them don't even have never had the opportunity to even have explored that. Yeah. And the only work experience or only experience that they feel like that they ever had. Some of them have never even interviewed for a job. Haven't worked a day in their life.
Do you have folks that have been in there for a very long time, or some who are getting out soon?
Some of them very young. Some of them are older. Some of them and they're scared.
I'll bet.
They're really scared, and I help them to see, even if they wash toilets, they have some janitorial skills, that they have something that they can call.
Yeah.
You know, what they've done is a category in a profession.
Yeah.
And a lot of them get up early every morning and work hard, and they get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They do, and they're committed to having the job, and because they don't want anybody else to have it, they want to make sure that they're responsible.
That's great.
And it's something that it's an image of people in prison that we don't have.
Yeah,
we don't. We think we warehouse people, they sit around and watch TV all day, and that might be the case in some prisons, but it's not the case of the inmates that I've met.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
Who really want to make.
They must have just love having you come in and working with them.
They're grateful.
I bet you they're
grateful.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things in my life that I can say that I really is very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a few days a week I do social work for a state agency, and I work with low-income families, and so whatever I offer in my private practice and in my private life, like workshops and motivational events and speaking and beliefs, the power of the mind, and I offer it to the low-income individuals, and some of them take it, some of them don't. You don't force it, but it's, and I think it's been very helpful to a lot of people.
What can folks find on your website?
Just more about myself.
You keep it updated every time you're going to do a workshop. Can they go there if they want to find out where you are?
Yeah.
You would travel? if somebody,
Yeah.
let's say, was in another state and saw
Yeah.
your website and wanted to hire you to come on out?
Absolutely. I'll go any place to teach a workshop and know that the money goes to a good cause. It goes
Yeah.
to other peace organizations around the world.
That is so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I will. I just like it was so any place.
You're evolving too. You're changing. You're shifting. Even your own profession. You're going deeper and deeper and specializing more. And
Yeah.
and now the medical profession is
Yeah.
waiting for you.
It is. You know, I another thing that I volunteer to do. I get so many balls in the air, but I do hands-on healing, Reiki with
Reiki.
Yeah. I did hands-on healing long before I ever did any Reiki training, but the Reiki training gave me the certification to do it in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
I do it in the hospital. I do it with patients and staff. I do creative visualization to help heal patients
Yeah.
in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so that has been a great connection for me. And they have a wonderful wellness center where they offer workshops, and I've been
Fabulous.
offering workshops there for years.
Fabulous. And
Yeah.
you know, we both know in your giving, your receiving, and you're
Exactly.
remembering who
It
you
feels
are.
good.
It feels good. We're here to just let it spill over. in
Exactly.
any way we can, every way we can.
Right.
And see how it changes. Because some
Right.
doors start to close, you move into something deeper that's more you, and then something
Right.
else opens up. So who knows where you're headed.
Well, you know, if long as it has something of meaning, like I just want work to be working. Like
Yeah.
I want something that will bring more peace to the world.
Yeah.
Something will make a contribution
And
to
that
help.
feeds your soul.
That does feed my soul.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't have that element to it, I say no.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
You know, and you can feel that in your body
I
when
can
something
feel it.
comes up that is just not you anymore. You can really you can feel it.
Right. And I just pray to be led.
Yeah.
I just pray to be led.
Yeah.
And to do whatever needs to be done that makes a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And the world is my classroom. I just feel like the world is my classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a workshop coming up?
I do. I have one coming up next month. Doctors and nurses. Anybody can sign up for it. They can go to the Massachusetts PainInitiative.org website and sign up. I'm going to be talking about how the mind can help with pain control.
Pain control.
Pain control, yeah. Yeah.
They say everyone feels pain differently,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't want anyone to say, well, this is going to hurt, because maybe it won't.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Or something has a reputation for a pain threshold.
Right. Well, a lot of people are experiencing chronic pain.
Yeah.
And they were looking for an alternative to medication. And sometimes medication doesn't agree with people, or it
Yeah.
doesn't work well, or they just don't want to take it
Yeah.
because of the way it makes them feel.
Yeah.
And so even if they are taking medication, whether they are or not, there's some things that they can do with their mind to help relieve the pain.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be teaching that on I think it's May 17th, Friday morning, May 17th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't Louise Hay do some affirming around certain ailments that she tried to help us with what that might mean and how you can look at it another way? I mean, we have so many, like Herbert Benson and his meditation. We have all these wonderful healers.
They've been around for a long time. Like those. Louise
Have you
Hay,
seen Louise lately?
She looks fabulous.
Doesn't
She's
she?
80.
I thought she was older than that.
81. No, she's 80 something
Okay.
now. Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's helped a lot of people with the power of positive thinking.
Yes.
With AIDS and cancer.
Oh, yes,
and
I know. Have you seen her DVD?
Oh,
it's beautiful.
She just has done a magnificent job.
Yeah.
Magnificent job. She's Hay House. She's got some great books.
She does.
Hooked up with some great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was fascinated with that book when it came out years ago. I thought,
I still have it.
wow, I still do too.
Yeah. It's almost like a little. When something comes up for me, I'll look at the what she has is like the ailment and the emotional component to it, and then she has the category of the affirmations you can say to make the correction. And
Yeah.
I think she's right on with a lot of her connections.
Yeah.
That she makes.
She is something else,
Yeah.
and she's still doing it and still
She is.
active, and
She is.
She has her purpose, and that's so important. And Awaken the Dream is about everyone finding their mission, showing up to keep themselves walking on water,
Right.
and being guided.
Right.
And the whole point is you're guided. Every moment of your life, you want to be listening and you want to follow what you're hearing.
Well, I think that kind of brings us back to where we started about the difference between psychotherapy with or without spirituality, because I think psychotherapy is that continuous loop in the head.
Yeah.
It keeps you in your head rather than helping you to bring yourself down and let the spirit lead you.
Yeah.
Because that continuous loop in the head is really what's you keep experiencing, as Eckhart Tolle would say, the pain body over and over.
It can keep you a victim too. No wonder I'm like this or feel like this because this happens. So you're almost reinforcing the negative. In many cases, it's like, oh, so no wonder. So now I can stay this way because I have good reason to.
Right.
We have 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So on this note, you know, it's really important to go beyond.
Yes, and you know, what really was the most helpful for me was Lesson 41 in A Course in Miracles.
Yeah.
God goes with me wherever I go.
I love that. Yeah.
So it says, deep within you is perfect, ready to radiate out through you and into the world. It will cure all sorrow and pain and fear and loss, because it will heal the mind that thought these things were real and suffer it out of allegiance to them. And to me, that kind of sums up, you know, the importance of God. Going to God and letting God asking God to help you heal those things that you thought were real, those emotionals problems and difficulties and pain that you thought were real.
And you have the belief that we can overcome things without a doubt. Everything.
I really do.
Yeah. You'd have to.
I have quite a history of things that I've overcome. Yeah. It wasn't big things.
Me too.
Yeah, I know you have.
On our last minute, I really can't tell you what fun it is. I woke up this morning thinking, I know this gal. She's a guest that I've known for a long time, and she's easy to be with, and I love what you do. And in our next program, when you come back, we're going to talk more about manifesting and how we're using our mind and maybe more of the particulars.
Perfect.
But thanks, Fran.
Thank you, Elle.
And thank you, my friends, for joining us on Awaken the Dream. We'll talk to you again soon.